Hey guys, Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Guys, today I want to talk to you a little bit about what style of trading instruments you should be looking at if you are a brand new trader or even an experienced trader. You guys have probably heard, of course, about trading the US stock market like your Googles and Apples, but there are so many other instruments out there that you can get your hands on and make money from. And there are pros and cons to all of them. Now, let's talk about what are the major ones that people run into. Then later in this video, we're gonna dive deep into the pros and cons of each single one. And I'm gonna let you know what I think is really best for those that are starting off, whether you're a small account trader or somebody that's coming into the game with a little bit more education, a little bit more capital on the finance side of things. So, what are the different instruments right now that people are using? There are a handful of buckets out there in terms of these instruments. So you have, number one, your Forex. Forex trading is the trading of currencies. You've got your US dollar, your good old Canadian loonie, the euro, the Australian thingamajiggy, all this kind of stuff. Forex trading, not my specific kind of thing, but you see a lot of traders kind of gravitating towards it. The second one that people usually fall into is the cryptocurrencies. You guys know about cryptocurrencies. You have your Bitcoin, Ethereum, but most traders, especially those that kind of dive into the Forex stuff, are usually gonna get into the cryptocurrencies for the shit coins. Your dodgy coins, your Shiba Poo-Poos, your DeFi kind of APR farming things. That's a whole different style of trading. So you got your Forex, your cryptocurrencies. Then the third one is your futures trading. The futures trading is the trading of indexes. You're talking about your QQQ, your SPY with the ES or the NQ. You have a whole host of micro futures out there in terms of these indexes too, to get smaller contracts. And this also kind of falls into the buckets of Forex and cryptocurrencies, in which people gravitate towards these three because there's no pattern day trade rules, and every single one of these instruments allows you to have some measure of leverage so that people can take smaller amounts of capital and trade larger amounts. Then after your futures, you have your good old stock market. That's my specialty. That's trading your Apple, Googles, momentum stocks, stocks with big trends, you know, news plays, whatever it might be. And then you have the options trading game, which is just a leverage way to trade the stock market. So now you've got these kind of buckets of different instruments that you can trade. So let's talk about the pros and cons of each one. And I'm gonna let you know what I would suggest if you were brand new, depending on your experience level and account size. So let's first talk about Forex. That's the trading of currencies, all right? Pros of Forex trading, why people get into it. You can start your account with very, very little money, as low as 10 bucks. There's huge amounts of leverage to it. I've seen 50 to 1, 100 to 1. I know, what could go wrong, right? And there's no pattern day trade rule. And then the other advantage is that, you know, you have a market that's trading continuously, you know, 24/7. So for those of you guys that have jobs and, you know, you only have maybe the nighttime or early mornings, there are gonna be places in the world that are always open that you can trade. Now, the disadvantages of Forex are plenty. Number one, it is boring. Like, who wants to sit there and look at the US dollar, which moves around like 1% a month, and sit there and stare at the same thing over and over? US dollar, Canadian, euro, so on and so forth. It's boring. You're just sitting there looking at the same chart. I know for some people maybe that's awesome, but there's very little movement. And it requires a lot of leverage to actually get something because there's not big percentage moves a majority of time. But then the other big negative is, look, all Forex marketing is basically catered towards people that have no capital and no experience. Most of these brokers are just running Ponzi schemes. They offer you so much leverage that whatever deposit you put in, they just keep it, right? Besides Forex, now you got your cryptocurrency. Guys, I've loved and hated cryptocurrency over the years. I was one of the first professional day traders that was coming out trading cryptocurrency. I dominated that 2017, 2018 markets and also played the crash. I love cryptocurrency trading. The advantages are huge moves, right? Post-COVID, look at the price of Bitcoin, runs at 69,000. Look at post-COVID, the price of Ethereum, right? You go from a couple $100 to $4,500. You talk about mega returns. Look at Solcoin, right? This thing gets into the hundreds of dollars. BNB coin, $500, $600. When the cryptocurrency market is hot, nothing gets hotter. It's lawless, it's big range, it's big momentum, it's got it all. There's also no pattern day trade rule, which is pretty cool for cryptocurrency. So, cryptocurrency's got a lot of stuff, but guys, that was in the past. Cryptocurrency's got crazy amount of negatives right now. First of all the damn brokers and exchanges have shut down, right? There is no more Circle and Voyager app, and Binance US is moving out. Like, everybody has moved out, right? When I was trading cryptocurrency really heavily, I had my money at like 10 different exchanges, Bittrex, all over the place. There were brokers with leverage, there were foreign brokers, there was so much stuff going on. You could toss your money around and move it around and really nail it. Now all the damn brokers have gone bankrupt. Almost all of them were like FTX, right? Blank fiend. We should have known. Look at this guy's damn hair, right? Word to the wise when you're giving people money in the future. I mean, you want your bankers to look fit, wear a suit, have slick back hair, probably have a private jet. You see Sam Blankfein, looking back on this in hindsight, that guy looks like a damn criminal, right? If somebody's not motivated by money, or at least their looks, can you really even trust them? That's the problem with cryptocurrency. Everything turned out to be a scam, and there's nowhere to trade right now. So I do believe cryptocurrency will go back, but we have very few opportunities right now to trade, and there's nowhere where you can even get some leverage beyond some really scammy brokers and stuff like that. Futures trading. Now, futures trading, let's talk about that. That's one of the biggest markets in the world. You can trade indexes, you can trade commodities. There's a lot going on. You can also use regular brokers like your Thinkorswim, right? Your E-Trade and trade futures. I think that's pretty cool. I have a little bit of problem with futures. So the advantages are you get some leverage. You get to use real American brokers that are regulated, FDI insured. You have a lot of different instruments. You can trade, cow futures, beef futures, orange futures, index futures. You can trade the futures contracts to any index or commodity around. So you do have a lot of opportunities. And then also historically, right, some of the biggest traders in the history of the world have been futures traders. So you do have a lot of advantages there. I think the disadvantage is the leverage gets a little bit crazy. Guys, I've traded futures on and off for years. Like when the market gets hot, man, that leverage, it's addicting, right? You start levering up on some NQ contracts, man, your P&L will start to fluctuate 5-10 grand like every second. It's nuts. It's addicting. When you're making money, it's super hot, but man, you can lose it all in a hot second. Futures trading, it's got some advantages. It's better than cryptos and Forex, but not as good as stocks. So let's talk about the stock market. I think this is probably the best spot to start trading because, first of all, the stock market you can trade at regular brokers. The second thing is, with over 8,000 instruments inside the stock market, there's always something moving. Yes, you could trade your indexes just like you would in futures with the actual ETFs, and you could trade large cap safe names like your Apple, Google, Teslas, but also when the market is slow, there are stocks that are just moving around 50, 100% every single day. In the stock market, there's always something with the PR out or earnings out. yesterday, like we traded Big, which had its earnings out. You know, we traded Tiger, T-I-G-R, it had its earnings out. We traded FUTU because there's some China news out. So like even though the market itself, if you look at the QQQs, it's been stuck in a range for like weeks. But every single day in the stock market, there's stocks with PRs out. And so you can play those even when the market is choppy. And those are the ones that are going to get you those big elongated gains. When you're thinking about getting into something that can move 20, 30, 50%, the stock market's the place to be because you always have stocks with news out, even in a slow market. Now, the last part of this, which I think is important, is the options game. So the options game kind of marries some of the things that we like about futures and cryptos with the stocks, right? For a lot of you guys that trade like smaller accounts, you may not have 50,000, 100,000 to day trade stocks and, you know, trade stuff like Tesla. But you can trade the options market and get big returns while trading safe high beta names. So let's take a look at the options market. When you buy an options contract, it gives you the right to control 100 shares of something. The advantages of trading options is that ability to control 100 shares for one contract. The second advantage of the options market is if you have a cash account, you don't have the PDT rule. Options trades clear in a day. So if you have 20 grand, you can play $20,000 worth of options. The next day, it recharges and you got that 20,000 back. So you can take the margin off your account, use a cash account, and there's no PDT. So if you got 5 grand, 10 grand, the options market is a great way to trade a smaller account without having to get into penny stocks, Forex, or crazy kind of leveraged things. You can trade Tesla. You could trade NVIDIA. You could trade these kind of safer names, but with big percentage returns. I was trading Tesla yesterday. All right, Tesla opened up at 238 bucks, and it had a piece of news out about AI, and they were doing some AI computer stuff, and the whole tech market was running. So Tesla goes red to green and rips over that 238.50 zone, right? Starts getting to 239. So Tesla's 239 bucks. So what I do is I buy 10 contracts of this thing sub $3, right? I'm adding these contracts between $2.50 and $3 at the open. So 10 contracts, which is 1,000 shares, cost me less than 3,000 bucks. Those contracts by the end of the day are up over $10 from my original entry of $2.50. I think stocks and options is the game to be in, all right? The biggest traders are trading stocks and options. You can trade safe names, and then you can use the options contracts that lever up a little bit and get a little bit more juice. But I think that's where you want to start. If you guys want to learn how to day trade stocks and options, you check us out at Bulls on Wall Street. We do trading boot camps for stocks and options, and we have live chat rooms where we're trading in front of people every single day. Guys, let me know if you have any comments or questions, and smash that like button.